Hello, my name is Tim Place, and I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer here at Basor Electric USA. I'd like to take some time today to introduce my company to you, what we do, and why it may interest you. We'll hear today about who Basor is, where and what we do exactly, quality standards and approvals that we meet, specifics about our product, why Basor, what makes us different, what are the things that differentiate us from other cable management products, and a little bit about our US team. So Basor has been around since the early 60s. It is a cable management company. We focus specifically and only on cable management products. And in that vein, it's cable tray mainly. We have been doing this for a very long time and across many borders. We're a global manufacturer, and we manufacture these products in 3 different facilities across the globe. We have a logistics center in several different countries. We have over 3,000 products that we manage. There are several patents on those products. I'll show you and talk to you a little bit about those as we go along, but they're geared towards saving time for installation and saving costs, as well as saving waste, getting rid of the waste. We have major distribution centers throughout Spain and for Europe, subsidiaries there. We have 6 international subsidiaries, US, Mexico, where we produce product, Peru, Thailand, where we produce product, China, Saudi Arabia. We have 15 global distribution partners, as well as regional distribution partners in each country and market that we serve. And there are permanent inventories in over 40 countries around the globe. Here in the US, I started back in 2016, this company here, and our headquarters is in Millstadt, Illinois. Millstadt is right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri. We're in the heartland of mid-America, where we can reach all corners of the US and not ship coast to coast, but from center outward, which makes us very efficient. We have a full line of cable tray and ladder products, as well as some supports and accessories here to service your cable management needs. It's a very large inventory filled with wire mesh, ladder rack, J-hooks, PVC cable tray. We do our technical resources and engineering here. We are also supported by other technical teams across the globe. Here's a very experienced team. I started wire mesh cable tray in the United States back in 1990 and have introduced 3 different brands. And this one is a very special brand of product. I've been selling cable trays of all types for over 30 years. As well as many of my team here that we'll talk about later. Well, what do we do here? What's our focus? So Basor in general makes every type of cable tray you can imagine. You can understand that in different countries there are different preferences due to history or the way they do their certain practices. For instance, on shipping applications, there's a special marine shipping shipboard Z-rung tray. We manufacture that. I have sold some here. We're happy to sell it. But we have a focus in the United States, not our whole giant book. We focus specifically on these products. The first is wire mesh cable tray. Our wire mesh, I'll speak about the differences of it, but it is the up-and-comer in cable management globally. PVC cable tray, data ladder racks, J-hooks, bridle rings, etc., and perforated steel products. And coming very soon, an EMA-type ladder tray. We do manufacture that outside of the country, but we're going to manufacture it here in the US. So what markets do we serve? We service the commercial market. So in offices or retail or hospitals, etc., those commercial type offices, we supply our cable management products for open systems. Data centers, industrial applications, renewable energy, and we also service the heavy industry market. So if you look at wastewater treatment, oil and gas, the food industry, food process industry, the logistics, material handling, uh, robotics, car industry, that type of heavy industry. Anywhere there's cable, we serve with our product lines. So our first focused cable management product is our wire mesh tray. It comes in a variety of sizes and finishes, and it's unique in its design. It is a unique design because we have done some things to it to reduce the cost of the installation, to reduce the cost of storage and shipment, and to reduce the overall cost of the product itself. So one of the number one things that you can see in our product line is the wire is different. The wire is different than what you would normally find in the product, where the longitudinal wires are straight. Our product actually has a wave in them. And what we found when we wave the longitudinal wires functionally is that it makes the product stronger. So in doing so, it stiffens the wire. We can reduce the amount of steel necessary to carry the volume load of cables in the tray. So in order to fill the tray up with cables, it needs to hold those cables and without a large deflection. And when you take steel out and they're not bent or stiffened in any way, you will have a problem. So in stiffening the wires through our bin, our unique waved wire, we're able to take out waste. That's wasted steel, wasted energy, wasted weight, which is something that impacts the cost overall for shipping, for installation, and for the original manufacturer. One of the other major things that you can see is the splice. The splice, and I'll talk about it in a second, is pre-installed. It comes with every tray. You don't need a new SKU, and you can assemble these trays within 4 seconds. That's what we advertise, and we are doing that on the slow end. I can do it in about a second. So what does that matter? Well, that saves time. It saves energy, which saves you money. The conventional method of installing splices to this type of tray will take you several minutes, where we're taking out minutes and dropping it down to 4 seconds. Overall, during a year, during a project, you're saving lots and lots of time, and time is money, and time is of the essence when you're on a project to get you on and off. One of the other unique features that you will find is we'll talk about how it's stored with the wider and bigger trays. But in the meantime, there is a video that you can see. It's a YouTube video. You can go out to the Basor.us site. It will tell you a little bit about our company. You can see the YouTube on the screen. You can copy that. You can look us up. It talks about our patents and our splices, etc. So if you get some time, it's well worth the watch because it will show you how to splice the product as well. You can also go to the Basor.us website and find the splice video there. But I was mentioning earlier about our logistics. On the wider, deeper trays, we actually put a different configuration to the U shape of the tray. Normally you have a perfect U shape in the tray. It has 2 channels to put the cables down the middle. We put a small half-inch jog, or actually it's a 1/4 inch on both sides, little jog at the bottom. You can see it here, but what that does is actually allows the trays to nest. It's a simple change. It allows the trays to nest together in a more efficient manner, so you're not just shipping or storing air. So we can bring a pile of, or a bundle of cable trays, put them in an area, and the cubic area will have 66% more tray on it. So where you stack 100 pieces of tray, you now have 166. This is important because there's less and less put down area on project sites. It's difficult, and in those put down areas, that's where most of the loss, most of the damage and injuries happen, because you have to move things a lot. And on average, you're touching something on a site at least 8 times before it's being installed. So we can compact that and not have to spread it out over the site. It saves you energy and time, and your productivity on the project is increased by keeping it all in one spot. It also helps with freight because you don't have to pay for extra cubes. It also helps for storage and local distribution outlets as well. So you can pack more in one spot. It's a simple change. It is functionally smart. It works with conventional trays, so you're not removing or changing it so much that it won't work with an existing system. It is excellent for load carrying capabilities. Actually increases its load carrying capability, even though it's not necessary. But you can look at our website and find out more information on that product as well. We work with some specific products in the marketplace, or actually uses, and we've added products to manage those uses. So in a data application, for instance, there are particular cable management challenges that are taken, especially in co-locations where you have multiple clients in one spot and you want to manage the cables to their equipment. You may want to cross over and drop out of a tray into some equipment, but not get the cables mixed up with the other cables that you're managing for other clients. It just makes it a smoother, easier management of cables in a data center with dropouts, the dividers, the bridges that we build, as well as certain hangers and other items, a one-use switch, a hanger, etc. So there's some data-specific product lines that come along with our wire mesh. Also, when you're into a commercial application, you can use our tray to optimize your space by putting a divider in. You can put MC cables in at the same time, put a data cable in. Just separate them with the physical divider, and now your pathway is being utilized for both applications, and you have one support structure. So this is how you optimize your pathways with our product line. We've introduced to the United States and North American market a PVC cable tray. It's different. It's something you won't see every day in North America. You'll see it outside of North America. However, we are one of the leaders in the world of supplying PVC cable tray. This is a product line that is UL certified. It will not start a fire. In other words, it's not a kindling. It won't perpetuate a fire that's in the building. It stops a fire. It actually quenches it. So if there's any problems in the tray that causes heat buildup, the tray will not itself turn on fire. It won't drip. So if there's a building fire and you have means of egress, it will not be dripping on you or passing those drips of plastic, for instance, into a different part of the building, which would start a fire in a different location. It is a very safe product. It was designed to protect people from shock. It acts as an insulator, or the equipment that you have it on, it protects it from ground faults. It's designed to protect the cables from the elements. So it's UV resistant. It is something that if you were put it into an application or a harsh environment, it's not going to rust. And that also protects your investment. It will be there for a long time. It's not going to rust and waste away to where you have to reinstall it. It's very unique, easy to work with. You cut and bend applications like you would a wire mesh, but this works like lumber, basically. You cut it without extra safety equipment like you would have to have with, say, a fiberglass tray, for instance. It's about the third of the weight of a fiberglass, so it's lightweight and easy and efficient to use. And some applications you would see it in is around transportation. So along all people movers or train tracks, you would see cables managed there. Typically, they're managed with a stainless steel wire duct, and that is very, very expensive. This PVC will not only protect your cables, protect the personnel and property and your cables from having problems, will also protect your investment by reducing the overall amount of output that you have to have, because stainless steel is very expensive. You'll see it around wastewater treatment. You'll see it in petrochem applications, food processing applications, data centers, around boat docks, around boating areas. One of the larger applications that we've seen in the past years have been around hotels and entertainment centers around water applications. So if there's something around the ocean or in the Caribbean or around a lake or a river where corrosion is a concern, you will find this tray acting as a cable manager, and in some cases acting as a LED light fixture. They will take a hole saw, drill a hole into the tray, put a puck light in for lighting the pathway, and it becomes both a fixture as well as the cable management product. It's very unique. Our Basor Plast is something you should check out. Another focus product for us here is we offer the standard ladder runway type of product that you would find in data rooms, in small data rooms. There are still some engineers that require this product, the old AT&T type of design, and it manages in a data room. You won't find it necessarily in large data centers anymore, but you'll find this in data closets. And sometimes in a data center, they will separate uses. They'll put copper in one thing, they'll put fiber in another, they'll put different applications, and so it's a way to separate functions of the cables being used. We offer it in black, and it's a universal ladder runway in multiple sizes, and every item that you would normally need, we supply. We also have in our line a line of J-hooks. Your standard steel J-hooks, we will build trees for you. We'll help you with temporary applications. We have temporary hooks for, say, temporary power, temporary data on a project that you would have where it's under construction, and you can come back and make things permanent. And we also have a new product that we've introduced, a high-performance hybrid, which has a wider base. It's out of a plenum-rated PVC type of product that has a security clip. It comes in multiple sizes, and its rigidity is added to by adding steel backbone to it. So it's a hybrid, and it's high performance. So we can cover you with that, bridle rings, etc., for your retrofits where you're taking one cable. Maybe it's a data application, maybe it's a security camera or fire alarm that you're putting in, and you have a hung ceiling and you really don't have the space to get up in that ceiling and put a tray, which would manage your cables better, but small amounts of cables going into tight areas we can manage with this product that we stock. And coming soon, we will be introducing our aluminum ladder. We can produce this right now and do produce this for projects of size out of our operation in Valencia, Spain, but we're going to be moving towards production here in the United States as well. We offer some support to you, and especially with planning of pulling cables. When you look at a commercial project, for instance, most of the installers, contractors in that marketplace are going to spend a very long time planning their first pull, pulling the feeder into the building, getting cable into that building, because we know that that could be one of the largest mistakes that are made, or the most costly, if you don't do that right. So you plan that pull out well. However, that's not where the majority of your cost is, especially with labor. 70% of your cost is in the branch applications. And we just do it because we've always done it and we have a way of doing it. We may have some practices that we employ as a contractor in the field, but we know how to do it, is what typically everybody does. So what we're trying to help with is different ways that actually help you plan the pulls of cables into the building. So you're using an open system. We have a roller kit that comes in a bucket of 5. We have cable guides that can be used if you have minimum radius expectation. But this roller can snap directly into a slotted strut without having to use a bolt or a nut, or you can bolt it straight to some strut or a fixture or a wall or anything you need. In data centers, we see people wanting to use this product and take it in and out as they pull in, especially co-locations, pull in new cables because you're doing more home run pulls. This helps them. They leave it in place, they put a rope in, they leave the rope in, and when they need to pull the cables in, you're reducing that effort. You don't really need to have a service loop and a person on a ladder pulling that out when you can use these rollers. So it's a great time saver. We also have a large roller that works over a parapet, around a wall, on the ground when you're pulling large power cables into a building, or large cables of any type into a building, which can be difficult because most sites are filled with mud and there's some distances that you have to traverse to get either your A-frame or even off of a truck where you would get the cables pulled into the building. We have a solution for that. You can clamp on a parapet wall, you can clamp on a concrete wall, it can be screwed down to wood or a pallet, or be clamped to any type of item to help keep your cables off and managed, and it has a roller system as well, so you can pull your cables easily and in a timely fashion. So one of the things we'd like to share with our cable management experiences is something that will save cost and time, and it's a comparison of doing an open system versus a closed conduit system. Pipe was invented for the migration of gas, not cable. It was invented for cable's use when the light bulb was invented. The pipes were already there, so we pulled cables through it. So the innovation on that has been with the conduits being utilized to pull cables. We have to bend them. And when we bend them, we are having to put some mechanical stress on that. So the innovation on conduit was to make it thin wall. So we have rigid and thin wall, but it really didn't help the installation of cables. That is still, you pull single conductors through those pipes. You can put a cable into a tray and save lots of labor. You don't need to derate your cables. It's much more efficient to manage moves, adds, and changes. You can span longer distances, so it costs you less for your supports. And pulling wires one by one, or one tube by one tube, is difficult. You can pull multiple bundles of an MC cable through a tray, and that saves you time, it saves you money, saves you space, saves you weight. And as a lead project, you should be able to get lead points for doing this because you can demonstrate a savings or a lack of waste that you would have when it comes to the amount of steel being used in that same application. So conduits are labor intensive and material intensive. You have to have specialized tools to install them. And again, you got to derate your cables. Cable installation requires some stress. You have to plan on lube and where your pull box is going to be. But if you use our wire mesh, it installs at least 40% faster, even greater. You have 25 to 50% less supports that you need. You can make a larger span. It's a simple thing to put together. You have simple tools. It snaps together. You just bend and crimp. You don't need a lot of nuts and bolts or a tugger or a bender or anything that's a very large cost and difficult to use. It's an open air design. It's ventilated. And it's very easy to install future applications. So you don't need a new structure if you're making an add or a change in those applications. And in this time where there's a problem with labor, there's more electrical contractors leaving the marketplace today than there is for, sorry about that, than there is coming in. It's a 7-to-1 ratio. So what you're finding is there's a rapid rising material cost. There's a shortage of labor that puts a productivity squeeze on what's going on in the marketplace. So if you switch from conduit to an MC and wire mesh application, you can see it's a beautiful application. And notice there are no pipe straps needed. So every conduit needs pipe strap on it. If you install MC like you install conduit one at a time, you put a pipe strap on it. All that labor is gone. And you can see these are nice applications. So you're going to save anywhere from 36 to 70% overall, and that comes from actual results. And again, it's a space savings. Again, this transition actually helps you reduce waste. And one of the wasted things you will find with conduit is space. You can save a lot of space as well. So if you look at our products and you have a BIM application that you need to work with, just know that we have BIM models for all our product lines. You can download them off of our website. And the quality standards that you would need to meet in the marketplace are met by our product lines. You can imagine as we cross multiple country lines that we touch several different expectations within the marketplace. So the IEC standards, are we RoHS compliant, etc. UL in North America, and we are UL and CUL here in North America, and that's important as a equipment ground conducting member of our product line. We're ISO 9000, 14,000 company as well, and we are really passionate about sustainable design. So why Basor? So there's lots of innovation throughout our product line. I could have spent an hour just going one by them. But I showed you a few in the beginning with our wire mesh, the waved wire, the extra bend in our wire products. They're simple changes. And then our patented splice where you snap them together. Those are just small examples of the innovation that we have. We understand that service is important, that that's not just delivery, that is management of your information, the information that you need. It's supporting you with data, recommendations, advice, and availability, of course, is important because many times when you win a project, the project's already late and you're under the gun. So having to wait on product is something you don't want to do. We understand that, and we keep a large inventory and have inventories locally to you as well. And of course, cost. We know cost is something that drives a lot of behavior and something we want to keep low. We want to maximize your efforts and your return on investment with the lowest cost installed cost as possible. And that's something that we offer through our product design and our model. Some differentiators, we're a global corporation. That might not mean anything to you if you're doing the local bank, but it may if you're doing a data center with a company that is crossing multiple boundaries. If you're doing something with a material management manufacturer, product manufacturer, robotics company that's building something here but shipping it out to another country, that's something that can help because we can get you local help with wherever our inventories are and our sales team as well. We have 30 years of cable management solution experience here, and that counts for a lot. We've learned lots of things from you over that period of time, and we share that with the broad audience and in our product design and our methods. We support anywhere there's a cable being managed. We have a solution for supporting vertical markets as best we can in enterprise, industrial, power distribution, healthcare, etc. We make a large investment every year in our technical resources and our engineering, especially around product design and efficiencies around the installation in our design. We have a global field sales team, so if you need local support, we can have somebody show up on site and do training or engineering support, drawings, etc. There's a diversity in our product offering. We're not just one note, although we are focused. As I mentioned earlier, sustainability is very important to us, and we try to practice what we preach about sustainability in our product design, as well as our manufacturing and our shipping, etc. And we focus in on the return on investment of everybody down the line, obviously ours as well as yours. We want your return on the investment in our products to be great. And so you are very successful, which we work very hard to make you successful with your managing of cables in the marketplace. We'll support you with collateral materials. We have lots of different catalogs where you can find specifics about our product lines, our part numbers, our dimensions, etc. You can find a lot of that online, and our location here in the Midwest, heartland of Mid-America, right outside of St. Louis in Millstadt, Illinois. You can call us at any time. We have a core group here that can help you answer questions, and many of them have been in the industry for 25 to 30 years, sometimes even 40 if you look at this list. We're here ready, willing, and able to help you. So thank you for your time. I appreciate the time that you've given in this recording, and I invite you to look us up at basor.com or basor.us. Thank you.